Okay, 7 und 7. Okay. 8 plus 7 sind... Nee, Quatsch. Falscher Ansatzpunkt. Bingo! Excellent work, Junpei. You've only got one left. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can't see nothing! Let's see what happens when I put the emblem of the coffin to this indentation. This is the first one. This puzzle looks a lot like the last couple. I think this is probably the last one. Once we solve this puzzle, I'm sure something will happen. Alright, I'll solve it in no time. Okay. Wie soll das gehen? Wir haben nur 5. Ja, ich weiß. Zehn. Acht plus 2 ist 10, plus 5 ist... Ach, 9 braucht nichts. Huh? Where did that noise come from? Underneath the keyboard? Way to go, Jumpy. You answer all the questions. Damn, Jumpy, good job. Hey, did you hear something just now? Yes, I heard it as well. From the bottom left corner of the desk, I believe. A picture? In the drawer was a single picture. He picked it up. It was a photograph of 4 men. Involuntarily, Jumpy's eyebrows shot up. He'd seen 3 of them before. On the right was a man with a moustache. The same man they found murdered in the captain's quarters. He'd been wearing the zero bracelet when they found him. Second from left was a man wearing glasses and a doctor's coat. He was the 9th man, the one who'd worn bracelet number 9. He had gone into door 5 alone and met an unpleasant end. Finally, the man on the very left, the man in the pinstripe suit. Oh man, that's Ace! Yeah, I guess it is. No doubt about it. Seven and Clover had come to peer over Jumpy's shoulders. But what did it mean? What was Ace doing in the picture? Perhaps more importantly, why were the 9th man and Cap in it as well? As Jumpy looked closer, he noticed the expression on each man's face. Their smiles suggested that they were close, at least to some degree. But why? How? What was the relationship between these 4 men? Ich krieg's heute mal echt. Snake's voice broke into Jumpy thought. You say Ace is in that picture? Yeah, it doesn't look like it was taken recently though. Ace, the 9th man, and Cap all look about 10 years younger. Ah, so the 9th man and the man you found murdered in the captain's quarters are also in the picture? Yeah? Is there anyone else? Or are there only 3 people in the picture? I'm afraid I can't see it. No, there's one more guy. He's got kinda long hair, he looks smart but a little cold. He's the only one I don't recognize. Snake knit his eyebrows. What's the date of the photograph? It doesn't have one. Did you look on the back? The back? Yes, the reverse, the other side. Jumpy flipped the picture over. There it was. To be precise, it wasn't a date, but it was certainly significant. He read out loud so that Snake would not be left in the dark. Praying for the success of the Nonoi project with Nichisaki, Kubota, and Musashido. Nonoi project, Nishizaki, Kubota, and Musashido. Jumpy immediately flipped the picture back over. That meant the four men in the picture had run a Nonoi game 9 years ago. Only Hongo had not been mentioned on the back, which Jumpy felt meant he had written those words himself. But what surprised Jumpy was not this revelation, but the fact that this felt nothing like a revelation. It felt obvious. That the true identities did not come as a surprise was what Jumpy found most surprising. Why then? Why wasn't he surprised? Junpei had just discovered that Ace had run an honorary project, but he felt no spark of excitement or surprise. Nothing. It was almost as if he'd already known. Of course, I understand now. Junpei looked over at Snake. In his own confusion, he had missed the dark look on the other man's face. Ace was the CEO of Creative Pharmaceutical. He was the one who invented the game 9 years ago. He was Gentaro Hongu. Ace's Hongu? Even as he asked, Junpei felt a thought he already known. It was as if someone had whispered into his head that, yes, of course, Ace was Hongu. I had my suspicions from the beginning. The voices were familiar, too familiar to be a coincidence. I could never forget his voice. It was the voice of the devil. I couldn't be sure though. After all, I had no way to check. I certainly couldn't ask him. Even if I had known, however, I would never have told you. Zero made it quite clear what would have happened if I did. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Huh? I didn't know that Ace was Hongu. Oh yes, I suppose you wouldn't have. 9 years ago, you were in Building 2 in Nevada. But Hongu wasn't gigantic with us. I know, that's why I didn't know what Hongu looked like. But why? Why didn't you tell me? I mean, I'm your sister, right? You could have told me. I'm sorry. I apologize for keeping this from you. But if I told you, Clover, you would have told everyone else. And if you did, then I would have been forced to tell them about what happened 9 years ago. I had to prevent it. Clover and Snake's conversation wasn't of particular interest to Junpei. He still couldn't make sense out of his strange feelings of knowledge. He was trying to organize his thoughts when he heard Seven's voice. Hey Junpei, you think I could borrow that picture for a sec? He had no reason to say no, so Junpei handed the picture over. Seven stared at the picture and began to mutter the forenames of the project leaders over and over to himself. Hongu, Kubota, Nichisaki, Musashido. His brows were furrowed and his face was flushed. Hongu, Kubota, Nichisaki, Musashido. He chanted their names to himself, pacing back and forth across the floor. Hongu, Kubota, Nichisaki, Musashido. Seven shouldn't have known their names. After all, he hadn't been there when Junpei and Snake had spoken of them in the library. But as Junpei watched him pace, it was clear that he did know them. Hey Seven, do you... Shut it! Just be quiet! His eyes were red and Junpei could see sweat beginning to bed on his forehead. I'm this close to remembering, this close. He was sweating heavily now, but his lips were dry. Hongu, Kubota, Nichisaki, Musashido, Creative Pharmaceutical, no project. Then he stopped. Seven set down the picture and looked at the red light near his feet. His eyes narrowed. Then suddenly his eyes went wide and he shut up straight. Shit! What? What's wrong? Holy shit! This is nuts! What's nuts? I remember! Remember what? Everything! Everything? Yeah! I remember all of it! My memory's back. I remember what happened before I got snatched. Seven's voice was full of excitement. Shock and excitement had frozen Junpei in place, along with Snake and Clover. Let me tell you what happened. Seven hastily drew a shaking hand across his mouth and began to speak. Like Snake said, Ace is Hongu. From the right, the other three are Musashido, Nichisaki, and Kubota. Musashido was the man with the cash. Nichisaki was Hongu's right-hand man, and Kubota developed the actual technical details of the experiment. Realization began to dawn on Junpei, along with a pressing question. How do you know all this? Come on, man, I told you I finally got my memory back. Now that's not what I mean. I'm trying to ask you why you knew all this stuff in the first place before you forgot it. Seven rubbed the scar on his chin. You really want to know? Of course! Me too! Snake was the only one who didn't voice any sort of agreement. He looked to Junpei as if he was simply waiting to see where Seven's sudden recovery might have taken them. This is gonna take a while. Well, it'll probably take me a good 3 days to tell you everything. Well, we don't have 3 days. Just give us a short version, alright? Short version, huh? The big man pulled off his hat and scratched his head. He made a face and put his hat back on. Alright, fine. I'll give it a shot. No promise, though. Junpei and Clover nodded earnestly. Seven was a lone wolf detective who... Ich kann nicht glauben, dass er ein Detektiv ist. Who valued his own code over the rules, doing what was right over doing what you were told. That was why on that fateful day he'd gone with his guides and gone to the wharf at night on a slim lead. It was 9 years ago. The wharf had been dark and cold and foreboding. At the time he'd been investigating a spate of kidnappings, all of them children. They all had one thing in common, a history of visits to one particular hospital. The hospital being under the management of Cradle Pharmaceutical, and Seven's investigation had turned up evidence that Cradle had been involved in the kidnappings. After a little persuasion, he'd managed to finally get a real lead from someone inside Cradle Pharmaceutical. They've told him that night a ship was set to bag the children from where they were being held to a large passenger liner docked offshore. Seven had, of course, gone to the wharf. Hidden in the shadows, he'd searched the harbor until at least he found the ships he was looking for. Verdammt, schon so ein Blick. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. There were men in black suits, many of them were carrying large bags. The bags, there was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There couldn't be no mistake, there were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he even realized he was going to. Out of the shadow he came, his gun ready in his hand. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. "I could kill you right now. It wouldn't mean nothing at all. I need only tie and anchor you to your feet. I doubt anyone will see you for perhaps a week or so. Is that what you'd like? The fish here would be thankful for the meal." With the words he felt the cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug? As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him. Damn it! Shit, my head hurts. Seven woke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. Where am I? There was a small, shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often. "I'm in a cell, huh?" Opposite the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, then tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, it was about what he'd expected. It wasn't likely that someone would put him in the cell only to leave it unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but no avail. "I knew it," Seven grumbled to himself as he moved back toward the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time, just how long he wasn't sure. At last he began to nod off and had nearly fallen asleep when he was roused by a distant voice. "There's over, it's 9. The voice was far away, very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice and a high one, most likely a child. His eyes shut open, her decaying. As he listened, he could pick out several different distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were the voices coming from? He looked around the room frantically. Perhaps the door? No, that wasn't it. Oh, was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. What the fuck? Man, ich finde den Blick so geil. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Sam lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything. It was too dark. Now that he'd found it, however, there could be no doubt this was the source of the voices. For a moment he was confused. Why were the children nearby? Then he remembered what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical had told him. How a ship would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. Was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he found a way to the children. Seven looked at the metal grate. Could he fit through the hole? He stuck his fingers through the grate and grabbed hold of it. Yeah, how'd you like that, you son of a bitch? Hat die einfach... What the fuck? Wie stark ist der Kerl? The dark square stood open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. Dass der nicht stecken bleibt. The first section of the duct was small. Seven could do little more than wriggle along on his belly. After a time, however, it got a little larger, and even so much larger, Seven was able to crawl along on his hands and knees. Boah, ich muss mal was trinken. He felt like he'd grown from an inchworm to an insect. Not much of improvement, but it was better than nothing. He began to wonder where the duct would take him when there was a thunderous sound like a massive metal door slamming shut. Then he heard a voice. Warning, warning, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 80 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. The voice wasn't harsh, but something about the calm with which it spoke made it even more terrifying. Sam wasn't sure what it meant, but incinerator certainly didn't sound good. Then, almost as if to confirm his suspicions, he heard a chorus of young voices. No! Help me! Many of the voices were simply screaming in terror, mixing with the another to create a single horrifying whole. Damn it! What the hell is going on here? Sam began to crawl along the duct as fast as his arms and legs would carry him. The noise he made was tremendous, but he was long past the carrying. A few moments later, a metal door appeared on the left side of the duct. Seven could hear the screams out of children from the other side of it. This was it. He grabbed hold of the handle and threw the door open. The old man gave way easily before his onslaught. What the hell is this place? The room he was looking out into had a dome for a ceiling and 9 equally sized walls. At the top of the dome was an upside-down funnel. It looked almost like a chimney. Then he looked down. There they were. Die kennt man übrigens auch. Kennt man übrigens, wenn man versteht mal, alle von dem jetzigen No-Nary-Game haben etwas mit dem vorherigen No-Nary-Game zu tun. Sei es Verwandte oder halt Freunde oder selbst Teilnehmer oder halt wie der da, einfach da. The children he'd been looking for. They stared up at Seven, their cries silenced for the moment by surprise and fear. Whether they were scared of the room or him, Seven couldn't tell. It was certainly possible that they were frightened of both. Not that I could blame him running into a mug like this when they're already scared shitless. He permitted himself a short snort of a laugh, then turned to the children again. Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. Not a single one of them moved. Except for one. He was a boy, slightly older than the others, in a private school uniform. Who the hell are you? As he spoke, he took a tentative step forward and gave Seven a suspicious look. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you. The moment the words were out of his mouth, he could see the children relax. How are you gonna help us? The boy in the uniform asked. Where the exit? Seven responded. There isn't one. The door we came in through won't open. A door over there. He cut himself off, considered jumping, and continued. Anyway, there's no point. We can't all get out of here. If we don't get out of here, we're gonna be burned to death. Burned to death? Can't you hear? The voice said the incinerator's gonna start up soon. The voice spoke again. Automatic incinerator will take place in 50 minutes. 50 minutes. They only had 50 minutes. Seven looked back down at the children. It was a good 20 or 40 feet to the floor. There was no way he could pull the children up. That was when he had an idea. Wait right there. I'm gonna be right back. What? Where is he going? Are you just going to leave us here? Sam did his best to smile. What he felt was a reassuring smile. Don't worry, alright? I'll be back, I promise. Just stay calm and wait right there, got it? He didn't wait to hear them respond. There wasn't time. He ran as fast as a man could run his hands and knees. Before long he was back in his cell. He was back where he had started, but he had a plan. There was something there that he needed. As soon as he was finished, he dove back into the duct and took off toward the incinerator. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Leaning out of the door in the duct, Seven lowered the rope rope he brought for an incinerator. Back in his cell, he tore the bed sheets into a stripe and tied them together to make a rope. Like 7 himself, it wasn't very attractive, but it got the job done. Alright, just tie that around yourself, okay? I'll pull you up one at a time, right? Huh? Wait a sec. That was when he noticed. There were more you before. Where'd the rest of you go? The boy in the uniform answered. I let them go ahead. We opened the number 9 door and they left. What? You telling me you opened the door? That's what I said. Then what the hell are you doing here? We couldn't go with them. Why not? Look, the only people who can go through the numbered door. Automatic incineration will take place in 5 minutes. The voice vibrated against the walls of the room. Look, that can wait, alright? Just get us out of here. Right. 7 grabbed a hold of the rope. First up was a girl with a ponytail. Next was the girl with a red necktie, followed by a boy in a jacket who said he'd climb up on his own. The last was a boy in a uniform. Like the boy in the jacket, he climbed up the rope himself. He looked scrawny from above, but his looks believed impressive strength. He scaled the rope quickly, but as he was almost to 7, they heard the sound of someone knocking. All eyes turned to the door. Cut into was a thick square window. On the other side they could see a furious face. God damn it, what's going on here? Why is the room empty? Where the hell are those fucking kids? Scheiße, Ace. Das Gesicht eines Dämons. The door opened and a man stepped in, looking half mad with fury. Sam recognized his face. He'd seen him many times in photos during his investigation. The man's name was Kentaro Hongu, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongu saw the boy hanging from the rope. Ich mag das Lied, das Unary Game oder Binary Game oder was weiß ich. He roared like an animal and lunged for the rope. Hurry! I know! The boy in the uniform resumed to scramble up to the rope. You son of a bitch! Get back here, you little shit! He was 50 feet away. 10. The moment he came within arm's reach, 7 grabbed the boy in the uniform. With a jerk, he tossed him into the duct beyond him. Gah! No! Hongo had lost any semblance of control. His face no longer looked human. It was twisted into something terrifying. The visage of a devil or a ferocious monster. Sam quickly reeled in his rope, leaving a fierce Hongo on the floor in the room and crawled back into the duct. You fucking bastards! You won't get away with this! How dare you compromise this experiment? What experiment? 7 wondered. Automatic incineration will take place in 1 minute. Hey old man, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up! It was the boy in the uniform. Sam tossed Hongo a taunting salute and pulled the door closed. There was no point to going back to 7's cell, so they continued down the duct in the other direction. After 30 feet or so, another duct met theirs, heading down. They nodded at one another, then turned and slid down the duct. A short time later, they crawled out of the duct to find themselves in a narrow hallway. There was a door on each side of it. The one on the left was a normal double door, but the one on the right was a familiar thick metal door with black and yellow stripes and a device next to it on the wall. On the door was a plate that read Incinerator. Then that's where we were. Yeah, Hongu might still be there. It looks like it's been shut off though. Wait, what if he's still in there? Yeah, that's not good. Ugh, 7 grunted. Find the other door, go into the other door, hurry. The children began to run with 7 following close behind them. On the other side of the door was a large spiral staircase. Run! 7 shouted. They didn't need to be told twice. Up and up and up they went. Their feet pounded against the steps and their arms churned the air. Round and round and round they went like a human tornado. The stairway kept going. They passed a couple of rooms that looked to be dance halls when the boy in the uniform spoke. Something's up. Akane is catching up to us. Akane? My kid's sister, the girl with the red necktie. Akane, that was strange. 7 didn't remember seeing that name in a list of children who'd gone missing. Hey, Akane! He cupped his hands around his mouth and yelled. There was no response. Maybe I outrun her. Suddenly the boy in the uniform stopped short. 7 stopped too, as did the boy in the jacket and the ponytailed girl. When did we do that? Well, we passed a couple big rooms on the way here. Maybe she took a rest on one of them? No, that's impossible. Sorry, Grandpa, you keep going. I gotta go look for her downstairs. He turned to go. Hey, kid, wait! God damn it, I said wait! The boy didn't even seem to hear him. Fuck. 7 spun around and yelled to the boy in the jacket and the girl with the ponytail. I'm going after him. You two keep going, alright? You got it? The girl nodded and began to run up the stairs. The boy, however, I'm going with you. Sam didn't have time to argue. Instead, he simply nodded and took off down the stairs. The boy in the jacket followed. Das Mädchen mit dem Pferdeschwanz ist übrigens Lotus Kind. Ja, es gehört Lotus. They ran all the way to the bottom floor, calling for her. Man hat sie gesehen, als sie da drin waren. Die sieht aus wie Lotus. Akane was nowhere to be found. God damn it, where the hell did she go? The boy in the uniform couldn't hide his frustration. Help me! Somebody help me! It was a girl's voice. Akane! The boy in the uniform threw open the door and leapt into the hallway that faced the incinerator. 7 and the boy in the jacket followed. 7 couldn't believe what he saw. Hongo had grabbed Akane by the arm and was doing his utmost to force him to the incinerator. Come on, goddammit, move! No, I don't want to. Let me go. Please, let go of me. She had planted her feet squarely on the floor and was doing her best to get away, but Hongo was much stronger than she was. She wasn't going to win. Akane! The boy in the uniform shouted. He roared with anger and charged toward Hongo. You came back. Ha! You're too late, idiot. Hongo lifted Akane bodily from her feet and threw her struggling to the incinerator. Ah! Before 7 or the boy in the uniform could react, Hongo leapt through the door after her. They saw him land inside. You little... Hongo! And then the door slammed shut with the finality of a great steel guillotine. The 3 of them ran to the door. They pulled and strained, trying desperately to get it open. Ah! Fuck! It's not used. The goddamn thing won't move an inch. The boy in the uniform cried out and began to slam his fists against the door. He hit it with such force that in feared his knuckles would shatter from the impact. Akane! Akane! Are you okay? Help me! Her voice was muffled by the door, but the sheer terror in it was unmistakable. What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here. Where's Hongo? He went out the other door. What? Warning, warning. Emergency command has been acknowledged. In 18 minutes. Scheiße. Repeat, das haben wir schon. Are you fucking kidding me? Sam was at a loss. It's the same damn thing. Are you there? Akane's voice sounded close to tears. Yeah, we're here. Just hang on, alright? We're gonna figure out a way to save you. If she could have seen the bloodless face of the boy in the uniform, his words would have seemed like little more than a sick joke. Automatic incineration will be taking place in 17 minutes. Please, please help me. I'm really scared. I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's gonna be alright. I'll figure something out. I promise. I promise, okay? You hear me? I promise. They could hear her muffled sobs from the other side of the door. The boy in the uniform tightened his fists. His knuckles were all bloodless white. 7 could tell that he was holding back tears of his own. It was silent. All they could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited and waited, but 7 didn't continue. What happened then? Jumpy couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. 7 looked at the floor. Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. It doesn't end good. You think I wanna remember that? Then, yeah. Shit, if I'd known it was gonna be like this, I almost wish I hadn't remembered. 7 shook his head, but there was something Jumpy had to know. Hey, are you sure? Huh? Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get. So if you could just tell me, did that girl Akane really?